Hey folks, how's it going? It's your favorite realtor, Evan Saint-Gerard with Keller Williams Realty Landmark, where I interview different professionals basically that might help you in whatever situation you might be going through in your life. Today's special guest is Kevin Donovan. Kevin, thank you for being on the show.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Kevin, how did we meet?
We met through a connection of ours in the Queens Chamber of Commerce, Brendan Levy.
All right, so let's tell the audience basically what you do for a living.
Well, I work in New York Life, and as we all know, New York Life's a long, well-known, established name. It's a Fortune top 70 company in the world, and it's well known. It's a mutual company, which means shareholders own part of the company, and been around for 175 years.
175 years. All right. So most people might not know exactly what that means, 175 years, and what you just said before. How do you break that down to the average person, basically? What exactly do you do?
Well, when someone asks how long you've been around, and I say 175 years, it's kind of striking. It's been around since before the Civil War. And we talk about, we started off in 1845, much like if you look at a bottle of Poland Spring, we started the same year. And what we did was we started in insurance back then, and it's through time, things have remained the same, and that you pay a claim at the end of a policy, and it's pretty much guaranteed by a AAA rated company. We've been around through 11 wars and 9 depressions.
Okay. All right. So with everything that happened in the last year, how would you say your business got affected by last year?
Much like everyone else, we became more of a digital presence. We Zoom a lot more. I don't individually go to clients' house. If they ask me to, I'll go. Especially now after having a lot of people have been immunized. I have also. I would go to someone's house, but people are more friendly to Zoom, and it's you don't have to worry about you making your house look nice. You can just make your area look nice, and we can talk that way. It's more comfortable for people, and often they find it's easier.
All right. So when you're doing an initial consultation, basically, how long does that take, and what does that entail?
The initial conversation can take 10, 15 minutes, and it's just a basic introducing myself, New York Life, what we do and how we try and help people. And then identifying the need for each client, because every client's different. We're around for 175 years because we keep everything confidential. What's said here stays here, and I try and find out and share with the client, and they share with me, together their needs, their dreams, and we try and come to a common goal.
All right. So as you guys know, that I'm in real estate. I sell real estate. I work with buyers and sellers. So on occasion, basically, I might have a client, basically, they bought or sold their house, and then they might mention that they might need your services. Let's walk us through an initial consultation basically with that potential client.
So we would probably Zoom to start, and that way it's a warm conversation. You would lead us in. You'd say they'd recognize you, and they'd be happy that you sold them a house, and I'd share in their joy of buying a home. We just moved into our house here in Floral Park, and I can share in the joy of becoming a new homeowner, or it's maybe a second or third house for someone. And then talk about what would happen if they didn't come home that night. How would the mortgage get paid? Because you're in the business of selling real estate, and the bank that has the mortgage, they don't want another house back. They want that house to be paid as usual. So if someone weren't to come home, we've got a product in line that would help the people that lived through that disaster of someone passing, would have the mortgage to be paid for and the college would be paid for.
Okay. So in essence, basically, you have the consultation. You're finding out basically what their needs are, and then you're explaining what different packages are available.
Yeah, it's all dependent on the person what the need is. After uncovering that, then we sit down, we talk about how we're going to fund it, and then obviously the budget in mind to try and make sure all the moving parts together fit in what they're trying to accomplish with the budget. Not too many people have come. I've only had one client come to me and said there's no budget. So most of us have a budget. We have to maintain and stay within the budget. So that's what we do.
All right. So now that they got the budget, they picked the program or you advise them which programs are best for their specific situations. And then what?
Then after that, then it's pretty simple. It's straightforward. I'll have a lot of the information I need already, and it's just going through some questions about their health and history, making sure I do my field underwriting to make sure they're eligible for a policy, because you do have to qualify. Okay. And then going through that, that's probably about 10 to 15 minutes also. And then after that, we if they've had blood work done the past 2 years, there's no medical needed.
I can hear the voices in my head saying basically, well, what do I need to do to qualify?
Really, it depends on your health. I mean, I've had clients that, I got insurance, and I think they it was towards the end of the year, very favorable in December. They want those policies. I had open heart surgery, and I had a couple other surgeries done. So instead of being rated a regular non-smoker, which is more 80% of the population fits in, I was rated very highly. So I paid more for insurance than the regular person. There's two ways you can go. You can pay less, or you can pay more. Unfortunately, in that realm, I paid more because my health wasn't good, but I still got insurance.
Okay. So now that you know whatever your category is, whether you're high or lower, you have your package basically, and I'm assuming they're sending documents either physically or they're sending them digitally.
We can do it on Zoom. We can sign everything via that way. A lot of times I find clients, we finish up over the phone, and then I sign and send them the application. They sign and send it back, and then we send it to underwriting. And in the notes section, I detail all the specific notes to each case for each client. A husband might say he had something a few years ago, and I make sure I make plenty of notes, give all the doctors information, and that way it's on a trust basis. They told me everything they need about their health and history, and I send that in, and then we have a team that they have to call also to verify all the information is correct. That way I captured everything. In case there's a middle initial, someone was missing, then we make sure we capture that to make sure we get the right client. And then it goes to underwriting, and after the underwriting team reviews it and the medical information, then they come out with a rating. After the rating, then a formal offer is proposed at, and well, like I said, 85 to 90% of the ratings go at non-smoker, which is most people are non-smoker, and that fits right in the middle. Some pay less, some pay a little more. It all just all depends.
Is there a difference if you're a single versus a couple? You're filing it together, or basically you can do it separately if you're a couple?
There are policies. There is a policy you can do it when you do it together. When you do it together, it's a second to die policy. So most often, most of my clients would rather have separate policies, and then from there, what they would do is upon the death of either spouse, then the remaining spouse would get what's left. Or if they would tragically to both pass in an accident of some kind, that they would have a beneficiary that would get the money.
Okay. All right. These things happen, unfortunate. So let's say basically someone has a policy, a previous policy. Unfortunately, the other person has passed. What are the steps that they should be going to move forward?
What happened with me is I was in the third month of my working in New York Life. I've been in New York Life a little over 3.5 years now. But just imagine my third month, I had already sold a policy about a month before that. And it was fully paid. They both got rated. They both got the non-smoker rating. And the husband passed in a car accident, tragically. The wife called me up. I had seen it on the news. I didn't see his name on the news, but when I get the frantic call at her crying, that I knew it was. I knew that her husband had passed. I told her I'd call her the next day, so I let my staff know. I said, I called up underwriting, and I called up our final expense plan about what happened. And from there, they said we need a little more information. And so I got a death certificate. I got it expedited, and I was able to go over a house. We sat down together, and we gave her the check, and we told her to put it aside, just hold on to the check for a month. I came back a month later when some of the grieving had stopped. I mean, not, a little bit, I should say. And then from there, we put out a plan that we put money in a certain place for our kids to be able to go to college. Her mortgage was paid off, and that she didn't have anything to worry about. She also had a plan with us, and so we put money, we invested money for her so she could comfortably retire. But through tragedy, there was some light that she could stay at her house. Her kids didn't have to move with her back into say her parents' house, because often people that don't have insurance, they get GoFundMe or they move back into their parents, and there's a lot of adverse ways that could have went, but thank goodness they had the insurance and it didn't happen.
This was a good option, basically gave them a lot of clarity. All right, so let's say basically someone wants to review what they currently have, or maybe they don't have anything. How should they reach you basically to get a consultation?
Well, they can reach me via my cell, 516-728-1596. That's my personal cell. Or my email address, kpdonovan@ft.newyorklife.com. Reach out to me, and if they have a current existing policy, I'd love to be able to look through it with them and discuss what it is and what it does. And that way at least they know. Even if it's not a New York Life client, I'd be happy to review it just so they can keep what they have up to date Sometimes people don't have what they think they have, or it's expired already.
Okay. Is there anything that you would like to share with the audience that maybe a misconception that they might think about life insurance that they're not aware of, or something you want to, a misnomer that you want to clear up?
With it's done correctly, you have whole life. Whole life lasts your whole life as long as you make the payments. Whole life is distributed most often tax-free. If you don't take loans against the cash value that's in there, upon the death of the insured, it's distributed tax-free. So a lot of people don't know that life insurance is a tax-free event.
Could you say that one more time, just in case somebody didn't hear you?
Okay. Life insurance, if distributed correctly, is a tax-free event. If you have your insurance, if you don't borrow too much against it, the whole life, if you don't borrow against the cash value, if distributed correctly, it should be done as a tax-free event.
Kevin, thank you so much. Is there anything else you want to share with the audience that we didn't talk about yet?
People most often have health insurance. They have to use it. They have car insurance hoping to never use it, but everyone's going to use life insurance. Through time, unfortunately, we're all going to pass, so everyone should have some form of life insurance.
Is there a specific age you would say that someone should start with, like say the parents and their kids, or basically should the parents just focus on themselves first and then the kids?
Focus on the parents first, because you have to think if the parents aren't there, then the house doesn't move at all. The children, most often, we set our policy up for our 4-year-old son. We set it up as a college plan. We set it up as a 20-year pay plan where he could withdraw some money and help pay for college. And then he has something, something for his future. There's a cash value that'll build up in that. Obviously, the older you get, the more it costs. It's just a matter of, you don't look at your 401k as a bill. You shouldn't look at your life insurance as a bill either.
All right. That's a great point that you just made there. All right. So again, let's give them your contact information in case they're interested. They want more information, how they can reach you.
Sure. My cell phone, probably the easiest way. You can text or call. Introduce yourself with a text. My cell phone number is 516-728-1596. Or feel free to email me, kpdonovan@ft.newyorklife.com.
Now, are there specific areas that you work in within New York or outside of New York?
I'm licensed in 5 states: New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Virginia.
Okay, good to know. All right, and here's the most important question: Mets or Yankees?
I'm sorry?
Mets or Yankees?
Mets, all the way. Go Mets.
You know what? I liked you until you said that. Anyway.
Oh, man, if I had feelings, I'd be hurt.
No, but I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule to do this interview. What else can we say? I know we both like tacos. We talked about that in Floral Park. So anything you want to tell people about yourself so that you're like, you know what, I want to work with this guy?
Well, listen, I live in the area. I love to be able to visit people via Zoom or go see them. And I'm friendly. Once you get to know me, you'll understand that I understand my topic very well. And I can help anybody at any budget. I can work something out for you.
All right, awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this. We're going to wrap up today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. His contact information will be here. If you have any real estate questions, do not hesitate. Actually, I don't know if you guys can see this little thing right here. Just scan this and you can get my contact info downloaded onto your phone. I'm Evan Saint-Gerard, and thanks for watching. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends about this as well. And other than that, have a good one. Be safe and be good to everybody.
Thank you.